Hey y'all, welcome back to my series where I take all the autonomous vehicles across China. Today you're in for a treat because we are going to try WeRide. WeRide is a company based in China that runs a robot taxi service with no driver in the car. Sort of like Waymo in the United States or Johnny Cab in Total Recall.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cab.
But unlike Johnny Cab, they also run a bus service. So today, we're going to try out both the WeRide taxi and bus service. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you where they land on my self-driving services tier list. So let's go. Hey, Future Sophia here. I didn't know at this point in time that I was about to be banned from filming in this self-driving taxi service. I still don't know why I was banned, so I just wanted to apologize up front for the lack of footage in that section. Anyways, back to the video. Here we go. They make everyone wear a seatbelt and there are no kids under a certain height allowed on it, so the kid next to me got kicked off. Okay, so the bus runs along a set route. To ride it, this one specifically, it is actually free. You just have to come to the bus stop and just hop on, but the space is pretty limited. I think there is something like 8 people allowed actually on this bus. So the bus, I would say, is pretty spacious. You can actually move around pretty freely, although you can't move when the bus is in motion because I think you have to be buckled in. Oh, somebody's walked across. It did actually see, but it did not slow down for them. So now that I've been on this bus for a little bit, I can basically say, actually the driving is pretty good. It's very unrushed. It has nowhere really to be except at the next station, and if there's something wrong in the cabin, it just doesn't go. There was a kid earlier where the kid was like under height, and apparently you have to be over like a certain height. Alright, so we just walked across the street. We were all the way on that side. This side, you actually have to pay 2 RMB to get on the bus. It seems to be the same bus, but I don't actually know if it's technically the same service. So this is the second bus. This one is paid, but this is also a WeRide bus. Okay, it looks like 2 RMB to actually ride this bus. So we're gonna go ahead and pay. Everybody has to put on a seatbelt before it will actually go. Seatbelts on. What's interesting is there's actually all of these emergency stop buttons that are everywhere on every row of seats. So I guess in case something happens to the bus, you just smash the button, just like how you should smash the like button on this video. It's still, I think, a little bit disconcerting that there are no driver seats up there. So they just turn on the heat in this bus. It's a little bit chilly outside. It's actually really nice. Also, the seats. These seats are like really nicely upholstered. It's like fake leather, probably, but they're really comfortable. I don't know if these will stand up to actual years of wear and tear, but we shall see. I think overall, on these 2 rides so far, it's been fairly smooth. There's a little bit of issues where it's like starting and stopping really hard for seemingly no apparent reason. And if you look at the visualization of what the bus actually sees, it's highlighting things that are not there sometimes and things that are parked and thinking that they're going to cross into its path. You know, as a very limited bus service where you basically don't pay anything at all to ride it around a pretty small industrial park, I guess it works so far. I will say I'm really not a fan of it beeping whenever it hits a stop. I would really rather it just have like a little ding. The honk is very, very loud. Okay. These look like, oh my god, the honking. Oh my god. The guy was on the side of the road and then the bus honked right as it went past him, so he got like an earful of honk. Well, that was the bus experience, so I think it's time that we try the Robotaxi experience. See how much better it is than everything else. Boom. Okay, so we've come to our second service area. This is where the Robotaxis are. Behind us is some sort of industrial technology center where a bunch of tech companies are. So now we're just waiting for the car to come, which we've already called. It is coming in about 13 minutes or so. Okay, so our car is coming down the road. We should be seeing it right about now. There's a safety driver in there. All right, here's our car. The interesting thing is there's a safety driver in this car. It's a Geely vehicle, and you can see that one LiDAR on top with a bunch of RGB cameras here. Hey, Future Sophia here. Again, I didn't know that I was about to be banned from filming in the taxi. There were literally no terms of service that said I couldn't film, and literally anybody could call this taxi and get a ride. It also didn't say anywhere in the app that there would be a safety driver in the car, so I just want to apologize again for the lack of footage here. Okay, so I just want to explain what happened here. Right then, the safety driver rolled down the window and told us that we couldn't film. Again, I just want to reiterate that there was no text anywhere that said we couldn't film. He did clarify later that we could take pictures, so I did. And maybe some spy shots. Generally, the interior is what you'd expect to find in a normal car. You can't sit in the front passenger seat, so you can only have up to 3 people in the back. There are 2 passenger displays which can show you the map and the visualization, which I think is maybe the best out of all the Chinese services I've tried. No music controls, but there is text you can read about WeRide, I guess. So what was interesting about that ride is they actually disallowed us from filming inside the car, which is why you're seeing this footage right now. Another interesting thing, which I think is true, but I'm not entirely sure, is that the safety driver is actually a taxi driver. And instead of WeRide paying him to drive the car, they're actually paying him to mind the WeRide driver who is driving the car. It turns out that the car that we were in is actually a modified taxi. It has like the taxi driver's info up on the display and everything. And you can see the taxi fare counting up on the display, which most likely means that it is a taxi. So what I think is happening is WeRide is actually hiring taxi drivers to pay attention to the cars as they drive around, instead of hiring dedicated personnel to pay attention to the cars. I am pretty impressed with the level of driving and the level of control that both of these services demonstrated. I think the bus was probably a little bit of a calmer situation versus the taxi, which is on a very uncalm road. So overall, thumbs up, I would say. Nice ride. Okay, so I promised a tier list at the beginning of the video. Here's where it currently stands. Waymo is in S tier. I think it simply drives the best by far. Apollo Go 6th Gen is at the top of A tier, and Cruise is in F tier because they ran over somebody and lied about it. Now, let's talk about the WeRide Robo Bus. There are some rough edges with the driving, and the honking really became super annoying. The bus also didn't really hold that many people, but the seats were very comfy, and there are some nice features built in, like the charging ports and cup holders. For me, that puts it in right between A and B tier. For the Robotaxi, it drove well, it was confident, it made good predictions and maneuvers, but it doesn't have any of the features or luxuries that make it an A tier service. And the car they used wasn't really very comfortable. B tier. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please do subscribe and like this video for more. Brings this China. Why is it hard when I'm